Hello Cancer, this is a timeless tarot reading for you. I am using my own tarot cards, my black and white duality tarot, and as in all readings today, I'm getting several things immediately. So one thing I am getting is that for some of you there might be some huge important memories from your childhood that were blocked that might soon come to the surface. Like we have this closed door that cards saying no, and we have elephant or big, and it's like behind this closed door this was something that your memory could not how do you say that in English? It had no access to this, your mind had no access to this memory. It could be something traumatic, but it doesn't have to be traumatic. It could also just be another kind of important memory, from your childhood. We have the childhood card here. And when this closed door is finally open, you might see this big elephant. The elephant could, just be a metaphor for this huge memory. This is one thing I'm getting. Another thing I was getting is that, like, very literally, like for someone who works at a zoo, there is something about an animal in captivity, a huge animal in captivity that it feels like it. Maybe you are rescuing an animal that has been abandoned or mistreated in some way, and you are giving that animal some kind of joy back, some kind of freedom, because that's what the childhood cards makes me think of. I mean, I have a card in this deck that says joy, but the boy in this image, he also radiates joy. Like there is some innocence about this boy. And often with animal, I'm not saying all animals are so innocent, but they are probably more innocent than many people. And they have, humans are in some way kind of lords over animals, and often they abuse that kind of power. So this childhood card could just, represent a kind of quality of this animal, and also of something that maybe you want to give this animal back. This kind of carefree feeling, this carefree situation. And if we stick to the first example, like this could be a childhood memories of yours, and you might come to the realization that you want to bring that feeling back to yourself, no matter how old you are. And having some childlike qualities or keeping them alive within us, wanting to tap into that good childhood energy again, doesn't have to mean that we're immature or something. We can also do that in a grown-up way. I need some seconds to see if there's something else in the first three cards. For very few of you, I'm also getting that something from your past is just coming back. It could be someone you have a child with. It could be an old friend, an old neighbor, an old colleague, a relative that you haven't seen for a long time, that maybe you rejected. Like you closed the door for them, but like they're trying to reappear behind these doors now. Remind you of something that you had in the past. It could also be for a few of you that this was some kind of situation that you could not enter, that something was close to you. You did not have any access to maybe fulfilling a certain desire that you were having, like you were trying to work on it, but you just couldn't get there. And maybe suddenly this huge chance might just appear in your life and spark that joy, that, you know, that kind of curiosity within you. In the second spread or row here, we have short-sightedness, pretense, and healing. Like short-sightedness and pretense together, like they don't give me a super good vibe at the moment. This could be someone in your environment who is quite irresponsible and who doesn't really think far ahead into a future in a healthy and grown-up way, but who's pretending to be very strong and cool, and maybe someone who's very superficial. And who just don't care. They are careless or no, there's a difference between being carefree and careless. So this is a good energy of being carefree. This is a negative energy of being carefree. It is careless. And there is this abandoned child here. And now I'm suddenly seeing two separate people, or this energy representing, on one hand, someone in your life. Could be a parent, if this is some childhood memories coming back for you, that, or someone around you when you were a child, they were behaving irresponsibly towards you. Yet, at the same time, this is, or at least this card can also represent your energy getting back to the topic that, you know, some old memory that was in some way traumatic for you is now coming back to your, you know, memory, to your mind. And that this is, you know, like your inner child. I actually don't really like these typical expressions, but I don't know what else to use. Like, you know, this inner little unhealed issue represented here in this drawing by this crying child, while you were pretending on the outside to be fine, but it's just like this huge unhealed topic that might come up. But don't worry, we have healing here. So often when we face things within us, this is a good chance for our healing. If we repress them, if we keep the door closed, then, you know, we can't heal this issue. Or, you know, if this is some kind of, as I was saying in the second example, some kind of animal rescue situation, then there is this healing for this animal. And I also wanted to mention, which is important to me, sometimes, especially when we're younger, it is not our fault, because I was saying that if you keep on repressing it, this is not to shame anyone, because sometimes our memories can't come back in a certain age. We have to wait until we get a little bit older. And I think many people are aware of this phenomena, that, you know, in our, I don't know, let's say you're 22 and then you don't remember so much from your 5th or 6th when you were in that age. But as you come into your 30s or 40s, suddenly people start to remember a lot more from their childhood. I have heard many people who said that. And for me, it's very similar. So, because I was worried that maybe I was expressing it a little bit in that sense, like, oh, it's your fault because you are actively repressing this. But sometimes it's not our doing that we push it away and away. Sometimes it is just not that. It's just that our mind is not ready to let that come up. And then at a certain age it comes up automatically, and it's not a negative reading. I don't have a horrible feeling about it. There is healing, there is positivity, there is peace and light in this reading, so don't worry about anything. At the bottom of the deck we have poverty. And for some of you this could just mean, not everyone with whom this reading might resonate might be in some kind of financial poverty, but some of you might be. And it could just mean that maybe this kind of poverty that you're in, or this financial lack, has something to do with this childhood trauma, or if it's about rescuing an animal, maybe whoever kept that animal, whoever captured that animal or held it, maybe they didn't have the financial resources to properly feed the animal. I don't want to excuse these people, but there's something about that as well. And also for some of you it could just be not regarding a financial situation, but some kind of poverty. Maybe you felt a lack of love in your life, or friendship, family harmony, partnership, or maybe you just felt left out by society or life in general. And this could have something to do with something that happened in your childhood, but you will soon tap into this healing energy. So I'm gonna pull some letters and numbers for you. Let's see if that makes any sense to someone. We have a 5, 2, 2 4s, 2 4 4 5. We have an I, Z, N, R, J, W, or M, P, B, X. So, and because I am not a native English speaker, sometimes it is harder for me than for you probably to figure out some words or names. I at this moment can't figure out one single word from these letters, but probably there are some words. Maybe you are seeing something. N, bin. That's a German word. But maybe it's a short form in English for dust, but no, I've never heard that. R, pin. Pine? No, we don't have an E. That is hard. In the previous reading it was easier. Oh, almost another German word. What does German words don't help you right now, I know. Jinx. That's the only word. Oh, we have a jinx here. Maybe you might feel jinxed. But don't worry if you feel jinxed. Healing, blessings, and white magics are on the way to you. At least a name. No, I can't think of anything. I'm so sorry. Do you see something in those letters? If you find something that's super obvious and I can't see it, like a name or a word, maybe you can write it into the comment section. I'm sorry, I don't see anything else. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching.